Hello everyone, welcome to Ask Me Monday. I am your host, Vickie Howell. I'll also be your cruise director, and if I do my job right, I will be the wind beneath your crafty wings. You be the judge, but as always, don't judge me. So this week is brought to you by our friends over at Clover Needle Arts. You know all about them. They do the Takumi needles and the Amore hooks and then tons of cool tools, pom-pom makers or whatever. And I've been working with them for, about 2 years, I think. And I'm going to show you a new tool today. So I don't know about you, but wow, what a week. I'm both invigorated and exhausted by everything that's been going on. And I need to craft. That's what I like to do. That's my coping mechanism. So I have been really into weaving lately. Not necessarily in practice, but I just love looking at it. You can't, scroll through your Instagram or your Pinterest feed or even open up a catalog without seeing some kind of, woven piece. Hello, Shauna from Des Moines. Yes, thank you. Some of you know to tell me where you're watching from. I love that. I forgot to mention I'm at home in my studio in Austin, Texas. So anyways, you see these woven pieces that are just sort of all over everyone. I did a ginormous one for my own living room, and I've been kind of experimenting with smaller looms, flat looms, all different kinds of looms. So now Clover has their own version. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Mila from Finland. Wow. What time is it in Finland now? So great to have you there. Before I even dive in, I just want to say again, I love having you as my community. Community is so important right now. Thanks for being here. Okay, so Clover has come out with one loom, but in two different ways. And this is just the package. It's a mini weaving loom, and you can either buy the single one or, it's not going to look that much different. The box looks like this, or the double one. And really, as the name would suggest, you basically just get double the supplies with this one. So I'm going to show you why you would need a double one, probably towards the end. But we're going to dive in and learn how to use this cool loom because it's plastic. It's adorable. It's in like this 1950s pink. I'm going to show you everything that comes with it. I'm going to show you how to set it up, how to get to weaving, and we're going to talk about also what you could make with it. And I'm going to be doing a couple of giveaways. As always, I'll give one away live, and then I'll work through comments to give one away at a later date for those of you that are not watching live so that everybody gets a little bit of giveaway love. All right, so this is the part where I flip around the camera. It's usually not pretty. So I ask you to just talk amongst yourself, tell each other where you're from. And if you've ever tried weaving before, I'm really interested on any level. Okay, I'm going to do a flip around right now. And I always also forget to use my right hand so you don't have my palm. All right. So here is the kit. It comes with all of these pieces. It comes with, these are going to be like this cute little comb. It comes with a shuttle. This is the flat loom piece. It comes with your spacing bars and the frame. And then this is a shed stick. And I'll explain what all of these are for. And then it comes with this big needle. I don't know why, but this big needle makes me so happy. Okay, so when you get it, it's going to be just in pieces in a little bag, kind of like this. So you have to do some really minimal assembly. So to get started, this is the small loom. If you buy the double loom, it'll be twice as wide, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in a bit. To set this up, all you want to do is you want to take the spacing bars, which are these pieces, and they just slide on either side. Can you see that? They slide right on. There you go. And that's all that was it. That was the assembly. So now you're ready to go as far as getting the loom set up. So you want to choose a yarn that's really clean and smooth to work on setting up your warp. So that's going to be the yarn that comes back and forth like this. So I really like, honestly, I like plain old cotton. I think this might be Lily Sugar and Cream or something. It's just a plain whatever cotton, but you don't have to, you can use anything that's smooth. Totally your call. So the first thing that you want to do is you want enough of a tail to kind of weave in later. You want to make your starting knot. So you'll notice there's a little hole right here. Fold a piece over so that you have a loop, and you're going to push that loop up through that hole. Okay, so you can see now that I have a little loop right there. Now you've got your tail. You want to make another loop. So like bunny ears, like if you were teaching your child to, tie shoes. Then you take that loop, the second loop, and push it through the first loop and pull it till it's taut. Now, you could probably knot it any way you want, but the cool thing about this particular knot is that all I have to do is gently pull it out and see how easy. So at the end when you're done, you don't have to cut anything or worry about trying to, get your fingernails in there and undo a knot. This makes it really easy. So bunny ear through the loop and then pull. Okay, from here, you're ready to get the yarn on each of the individual spacer bars. So you're going to be working on the warp now. All right, so all you need to do is take your yarn and come down. Can you see this? Up through that first comb. I'm going to hold it up just so you can kind of see it a little bit better. And then around. And you just alternate. And you would do that all the way until you get to the end. And you'll get something that looks like this. Okay, hi Christina from Germany, welcome. Okay, so now you're done with that, and I just snipped a little bit of a piece. You need to not do it the same knot that I showed you how to do before, but you need to do a finishing knot, and that's going to be right here. And these looms are available at craft stores, or you can find them on the Clover USA site. So again, I'm folding over that piece of yarn. Excuse my arm. Got my little loop. I'm going to pull that other loop through and tighten it. Okay, so now we are set up for this part. So now we've got our loom all set up with our warp yarn, but now we need to work on the weft. So, or the shuttle rather, for which we will be using to create the weft. So that is where this little guy comes in. So what you want to do is you want to get your yarn set up on it. And to do that, you just choose whatever you want your first yarn to be, and that's the yarn that's going to be actually woven through this. Kim from Canada, hello. Teresa from New Zealand, welcome everyone. This is so fun. Okay, so you're going to take some yarn, and you want just a little bit of a tail, just a couple inches. Maybe like, 4 centimeters or whatever. Okay, and then you want to do what is kind of will look like a little figure 8 on the side. So I'm going to turn it around. I'm coming down through the little space in the middle and then up to make that figure 8 and through the other space. Then I'm going to turn it over to the other side and do the exact same thing. So I want it to cross over and make a figure 8. And then I just continue, in theory, this would be held down. And then I just continue that until I have as much yarn on my shuttle as I'd like to use. And the Clover directions suggest that you don't ever have the thickness of the yarn that you've put on your shuttle be any more or any thicker than about 3/4 of an inch. And the reason being is that you don't want to try and shove that under your, stretch out your warp while you're using your shuttle. Okay, so you'll get something that looks like this. Then you want to just cut it off, and you can always add yarn later. All right, now we're ready to start the weaving process. So that was it. That was the whole setup. No big whoop, right? So this is when our little shed stick comes in to play. So what we want to do is we want to pass the shed stick through the even number of strands at the top. So this would be number 1, correct? So this would be 2. So I'm essentially just weaving with this piece at first. And the purpose of this piece will be, you'll see it in a second, is to help separate the strands to help make the weaving process easier. Okay, so you do that, you want that up at the top as far as it can go. And it is ready to go. So now we're going to take the shuttle, this little guy, and we're going to scoop the odd number strand, so opposite of what we did of the warp, and we are going to start at the beginning, but you need to wait with the weft yarn. You want to make sure that you've got enough of some tail. Just a couple inches, which we'll weave in a second, and I'll show you that. And then you're going to weave under the opposite what we just did. Oh wait, somebody's telling me I missed a strand. Let me see. Over. Oh, you're right. Thank you so much. Somebody just caught that. I love this audience. Okay. Good catch. So when I'm shooting these videos, I have the camera in front of me, which is really just a phone. And so I'm watching what I'm doing on that and not watching what I'm actually doing. And so it's really easy for me to miss stuff like that. So I really appreciate you guys calling that out. All right, so now we're going to start scooping. So we're going to scoop under the odd number, so opposite what we did before. So you go under, over, under, over. Make sure you guys can see that. So this pass, arguably, the shed stick doesn't do as much for you, but we've at least got it started. Now you do a little arc. You don't want to follow directly down the line because you won't really have enough yarn, and what will happen is your either side of your piece will start to go concave. But then you take your weaving comb and you comb it down. Now you can either weave this in right now by just taking a needle or going over and under just a few inches. And you know what? I'm going to show you how to do that. So you can either do this now, or you can leave it out as fringe, which I've done that as well, or you can weave it in later. It's kind of your call. But you want to get a few pieces, or excuse me, you want to go, a couple inches. I would probably go further than that, but you know what I mean, behind, and then you keep going. Okay, so this is where we're actually going to get our shed stick in action. We're going to turn it over and watch that magic. Let me give you this view. See how it separates? It lifts and separates, much like a great bra. All right, so then we want to come back with our shuttle. This pass is a lot easier because we're getting that help. And we don't have to really weave at all. We just pass it straight through. Again, we don't want to tug, right? We want to go at an arc. We grab our comb, and push it down. And continuing to work in that manner, you'll just keep passing back and forth. So now we would move this back and we would go the opposite. And it becomes easier now that we've woven both ways. So you would just continue working in this manner for as long as you wanted to have this color. And then you can weave in and add colors as you like. By just rewinding yarn on the shuttle as I showed. Okay, so you're going to continue doing that, and you would just, that whole process you would continue until it starts to get a little tight, like too tight for the shuttle to get through. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Look at this mamma jamma. Isn't it cute? Until you get a whole piece. Now you can see I mentioned before how if you didn't want to weave it in, you can leave little fringe bits. And I really liked that, especially for, I have this really bulky yarn, and you would really see that. That would sort of like, change the integrity of the texture of my piece if I tried to weave in underneath the tails. So I'm kind of just letting it loose. I kind of dig it. And here's a fun fact. I added this little guy because I realized later that I had accidentally missed a stitch, and so I had a larger loop. So I decided to call that a design feature, and I used that as the loop to tie my little piece on. And that's what's really fun about this is that you can kind of just do you. So I've now ditched my shuttle, and I've threaded my yarn onto this big needle, the big needle. And I just did the exact same thing as I'd been doing before, only without the help of the shed stick or the shuttle, because at this point you don't really need it. And you just continue until you're done. Grab our little comb and just continue until it's completely stuck at the top. And then when you're done, all you do is remove it. And look, that's it. Like there's no finishing or whatever. But from here, if you want to connect two pieces, look how you've got these really clear, cool loops, right? Okay, so that's all there is for it. That's all there is to it. Now I want to talk to you a little bit, and I'm going to let you talk while I undo some of what I've done already so that I can use this loom for something else. I'm going to show you what you get when you get the double loom. This is a smaller loom, so this would be really great for small squares, like for a blanket or individual coasters. I'm thinking about making next week, I'll put it up on the Clover blog, just a really small, like office wall hanging. Really whatever's going to make you happy. Okay, so if you buy the double loom, though, it comes with double of everything. So 2 combs, 2 shuttles. That was a hot mess. Sorry you had to see that. Needles. And the reason why it comes with 2 of everything is so that you can, if you so desire, use them each as individuals or unite them in Loomy Love by taking both pieces like this and clicking them together. And this means that you'll have twice as wide of a piece. Now it's still going to be shallow, so this would be perfect if you wanted to create strips for something like a table runner, or again, maybe another type of blanket. And then what you would do with your 2 shed sticks is that you would just join them together. Oops. There you go. You would just join them together, and that would work like that. So the cool thing about that is that you can, there's a lot of versatility. And honestly, I think it's like $10 more to get. I think the double set is $28 and the single set's $19. So you might as well almost go big or go home, right? All right, I'm going to do the flip around again. Messy studio. So that's really it. It was really fun. I played with this over the weekend while I was watching. Actually, I was watching Lemony Snicket's Series of Unfortunate Events, the new Neil Patrick Harris thing on series on Netflix. Really good, and there's knitwear in it, so I'm in. But super fun to use, and I would love to give away one to you now. So I'm just going to do the random scroll. That didn't go as quickly as I wanted it to. And Cindy Flynn, you are the winner of a Clover mini loom. If you will email submissions@vickiehowell.com with your address, I will get that to the Clover people. For everyone else who is interested in winning one, for the next 4 days, so what are we at today? A Monday? So by Thursday, if you will post a comment of what you would make, what would you use a small mini loom for? Or what are you interested in as far as designs go for mini looms? If you post that in the comment section here on Facebook, then I will get the Clover people to choose another winner, and we will post that by Friday. So thank you. If you were like in it to win it now, like I am with the weaving, also, or even if you just kind of want to be inspired, check out the latest episode of Craftish, my podcast, and you can find that on iTunes, on SoundCloud, on Stitcher, through my website, here on Facebook. I interviewed Rachel Denbow, and she is the author of DIY Woven Arts, but her stuff is gorgeous. It's so pretty and really inspirational. She does a lot of contributions for the website A Beautiful Mess. So you could really dive in, listen to that while you weave on your new looms. And then next week, if you tune in again, I'm going to be working on galentines. So kind of paper and crochet fun valentines that you can make for your gal pals for Valentine's Day. So as always, it has been a pleasure. I hope you dig these little looms. They're pretty cute. And ton of fun. Please tune in next week. Well, not tune in. Log on next week for I think I'm going to do a wall hanging for the Clover blog. So all the instructions will be up at Clover USA, and I also post it on my own website, VickieHowell.com. All right, everyone, be kind to each other. I'll see you next week. Mwah.